Exterior, prison, day. Marv is standing in front of the prison, impatiently waiting to be picked up. He looks clearly frustrated. A beat-up, rusted white pickup truck that seems to be hardly working pulls into the parking lot. Carlos is driving the truck and rolls down his window as you hear the passenger door unlock.
What's up, my #1 composition? So good to see you again on the outside.
You're late.
I'm so sorry about that, Marv. I was having car troubles and stuff. I didn't want to be late to pick you up, but I can make it up to you. We can go get lunch on me.
Marv gets in the car and Carlos starts to drive off.
Oh, you were paying for lunch either way, and I don't have any money.
There's a pause in the conversation. The truck is now driving through the city of Detroit.
Why did you call me your composition? What is that supposed to mean?
I've been trying to expand my vocabulary. Composition is another word for friend.
Oh, well, that's cool and all, but why not just use smaller words? That way people always know what you're saying.
If I use bigger words, people will think I'm intelligent. That way people will take me more seriously.
Why do you need to sound that smart? Like, I don't get it. What's the point if I don't know what you're saying?
I just didn't want to take what you did for me for granted. I need to make the most out of it.
I didn't do shit for you. All I did was not be a rat.
The truck pulls into McDonald's parking lot.
Listen, man, I will forever be indebted to you, man. And I can start with your first meal out of prison.
Carlos puts the car in park.
So you're telling me you want to make up for the extra 3 years of prison I had to endure for you, and the best you can do is McDonald's?
Listen, composition. I'm not made of money. I'm not gonna make you order off the dollar menu. My treat.
Marv and Carlos get out of the car and begin to walk into McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Those big new words are working wonders for you, huh?
Interior McDonald's day. Carlos and Marv walk up to the counter and wait in line.
Listen, man, it's a process. It will work. You'll see one day I'll be a highly estimated businessman.
Isn't esteemed the right word to use there? I don't think estimated is right.
No, I'm pretty sure it's estimated. I just read that word in the dictionary yesterday.
Carlos and Marv are now next in line.
Okay, well, you did your research. I'll take your word on that for it then, but...
Hi, what can I get for you today?
Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying.
Let's just order real quick, then we can keep talking after. You want the Big Mac meal?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll just have 2 Big Mac meals then.
McDonald's employee glares at Marv.
That'll be $17.63, cash or card.
Carlos pulls out his wallet and starts counting out the money.
Has Jen visited you recently?
Carlos hands over the money in exact change, and Carlos and Marv stand over to the side.
No, she hasn't visited in the last, month or so. I don't know why. I was probably gonna go visit her later on today.
No need to go over there today. Thanksgiving is on Thursday. She'll be there.
Thanksgiving where? I'm not going back to my parents for Thanksgiving. I don't feel like dealing with them.
It's not that bad. I'll be there too. She really wants you to be there.
I can just visit her some other time. I haven't talked to my parents since I got locked up, and I don't want to start now.
2 Big Mac meals.
McDonald's employee throws the food down on the counter.
You gotta go, man. She really wants you to be there. She has a big annotation and wants everyone to be there for it.
I really don't want...
Carlos gets up to get the food. Marv looks annoyed and is tapping his finger against the table in impatience, trying not to lose his train of thought. Carlos comes and sits back down with the food, and Carlos starts eating.
I really don't want to go. I lost 4 years of my little sister's life because of that. What would anyone gain out of me going?
I don't know, man. She just wants everyone there. It's important to her. Plus, your parents have been chill recently. I'm sure it'll be fine. Their minds seem elevated from, the stress.
It doesn't matter how they've been recently. Screw that, man.
Carlos finishes his burger.
You gonna eat that?
Of course I'm gonna eat it. Why would I eat it? Isn't that the point of coming?
My bad, man. You just didn't look like you were eating it.
Marv glares at Carlos and takes a big bite of his Big Mac.
Have you talked to your cousin Dom recently? Does she have any work?
No, I haven't. But you don't want that kind of work anyway. In fact, let's see if you can get a job here. The sign says they're hiring.
I don't want to work at the shitty ass McDonald's. Why don't you just see what Dom has going on?
We don't need Dom. You can make perfectly good legal money without her. It's probably for the best that you don't do work with her again anyway. I want my best friend to stay out of jail.
Fine, whatever, but I'm not working here.
But they're hiring. Come on, let's go ask.
Carlos runs up to the front counter. Marv scoops up his fries and soda and reluctantly follows.
Hey, my buddy here is looking for a job, and it says you're hiring.
The McDonald's employee looks over at Marv.
We're not hiring.
I don't even want this shitty job, but the sign says you're hiring.
We aren't hiring you.
The McDonald's employee starts to walk away and Marv chucks his soda at him and starts to talk about it. Carlos grabs him, holding him back and drags him back to the car.
Woo!
Exterior, Marv's parents' house today. Carlos and Marv are outside of Marv's parents' house. They are getting out of Carlos's van.
I don't want to go in there. Let's just get out of here.
Dude, we're already here. We might as well go in at this point.
Do they know I'm even coming or that I'm even out?
I mean, I told them I was coming, so I think the consumption is that you would come along with me.
Oh, but is Jen here yet? I don't want to go in until she gets here. She's the only reason why I'm here.
She's running late. She'll be here shortly. Let's just go in. It's cold, dude.
Fine. Wait, how do you know she's running late?
Marv and Carlos walk into the apartment building and get into the elevator.
She said it in the family group chat.
Why are you in my family group chat and I'm not?
I mean, I could add you into it. We're just gonna need you to get a phone first.
Okay, so if you're in my family's group chat, which I'm just finding out exists, then who told them I was coming, right?
Well, your sister knows, and to everyone else it can be a fun surprise.
Marv and Carlos get out of the elevator. Marv gets back in and presses the button for the lobby. Carlos reaches out and holds the elevator door from closing.
Isn't it bad enough I have to interact with them? I don't want it to be a surprise I'm interacting with them.
I'm sure they'll be happy to see you.
Shut up, Carlos. You know that isn't true. I don't understand why you talk to those assholes at all.
I just wanted to keep an eye on your family while you were gone and see if they needed anything.
I didn't ask you to do that. I didn't want you to do that.
One of the apartment doors flies open. Gunther pops his head into the hallway.
What's going on out here? Stop all that yelling!
Gunther makes eye contact with Marv, then looks at Carlos.
Afternoon, Carlos.
Gunther walks back to the apartment.
Marge, have the police on standby. There is a criminal in the hall.
Carlos
No
looks at
going
Marv.
back now.
Marv glares at Carlos and goes to walk into the apartment, still behind Carlos. As soon as they walk in, Gunther is sitting in the chair and Marge is in the kitchen.
We don't allow criminals in this household.
I'll leave.
Marv turns to leave. Carlos grabs his arm. Marge comes out of the kitchen and quickly goes over to Marv.
Oh my God, little Marvin, it's so so good to see you.
Marge hugs Marv. Marge breath has a heavy hint of alcohol.
So we're pre-gaming Thanksgiving now, huh?
Marge doesn't register that Marv said that.
It's been so long since I've seen you. You look all grown up. How you been doing? How you been?
Well, I've been in jail.
Marge runs out to Carlos and hugs him.
Oh, hi, Carlos. How you doing today? How's work going? Did you get that promotion yet?
She squeezes him in a hug and runs back into the kitchen.
Dinner is almost ready, everybody. Sit down at the table. The food will be right out.
There are 6 seats in a rectangular table, 6 seats on each side. Carlos sits in the middle on the left side, and Gunther and Marv sit on either side.
So, son, how's the construction gig going?
When Gunther says son, Marv looks over, but before realizing he's talking about Carlos.
It's going magnifyingly. It's decent money, and maybe sometime soon I'll be able to afford to go to school.
You want to go back to school, and you couldn't even graduate high school. What makes you think you could get into a college, let alone pass it?
Remember I told you I got my...
What do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're talking to, Carlos, like that? You're not half the man he is. He is the reason you aren't sleeping on the street. You are just a criminal, a waste of space, an embarrassment, and will never be anything more than that.
Marv looks like he's about to blow a fuse and yell back at his father. Marge brings out seemingly undercooked, very appalling looking turkey and sits down, while Carlos puts his hand in front of his mouth.
Don't listen to him. It's not worth it. You aren't here for him. Remember, you're here for Jen.
Marge, don't you think it's a little undercooked?
I,
can hear the door open and Jen runs in and hugs her brother.
It's so good to see you on the outside again. I'm so glad you're out.
I'm not.
Carlos is the only one who heard Gunther's remark and looks cautiously at Marv, making sure he doesn't react. Jen goes to sit down as Greg walks in and sits next to her. Marv looks confused.
Who the hell is that?
Hi, I'm Greg. You must be Marv. I've heard so much about
That's cool and all, but Greg, but that doesn't answer my question. Who the hell are you?
Carlos puts his hand up to Greg and Jen, indicating to them that he will explain.
That's Jen's boyfriend. It's okay. They've been dating for like 2 years now.
Boyfriend? 2 years? What? Why am I just finding out about this?
Marv, how was I supposed to tell you about Greg? Every time I mentioned a guy when I'd visit you, you'd flip out and not want to hear about it. So I stopped bringing it up.
Marv looks appalled. He looked over and glances at Greg. Marge starts laughing and throughout the rest of the scene laughs at nearly everything that is said.
This is the guy that's dating my little sister. He looks older than me. How old are you?
26.
26? What are you, some kind of pedo?
Marv, I'm 22. I'm not the same 14-year-old girl I was when you went in.
Yeah, believe it or not, while you were in prison, other people were living their lives and growing up.
Well, how was I supposed to know that? When she wasn't allowed to visit me for the first 4 years I was locked up. And you and Mom never visited me once. The entire time I was locked up.
What father wants his 14-year-old daughter visiting a criminal in prison?
I just wasn't another criminal. I was her brother and your son.
No criminal is a son of mine.
Dad.
Carlos jumps out of his seat, seemingly to draw attention to himself and distract Marv and Gunther.
Wait a second, Jen. Didn't you have a big annotation you want everyone to hear?
It's silent for a second, except for Marge's continuous laughter. Everyone stops and looks at Carlos. Jen looks nervously at Carlos, and Carlos motions to her to say what she has to say.
Well, it's actually two things that I need to tell you guys. Well,
Greg puts his hand on Jen's shoulder to comfort her.
Well, me and Greg are engaged, and, well, we're expecting a baby.
Marv's face looks like he is in shock. Carlos is awkwardly clapping his hands in support. Gunther's face is still deadpan. Marge stands up.
Let's get some champagne to celebrate!
Wait, Mrs. B, I don't know if that's a good idea.
You son of a bitch!
Carlos chases
You got my little sister. Oh my god, I was so
Carlos chases Marge into the kitchen,
good
leaving
though.
no one in between Marv and Gunther.
You son of a bitch! You got my little sister pregnant?
Oh, will you stop it with the big brother act? You weren't around when it was the right time to play that role. Greg will be able to afford to give Jen and their child a good life. You should be worried about yourself, not Jen. I doubt you will ever be able to find a job. No one wants to hire criminals.
I just got out not even 3 days ago. I'm going to find a job and I'll be fine. But thanks for the confidence, asshole.
You know, Marv, if you need a job, I can get you a job with me.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. I don't give a shit where you work, nor do I want your fucking handout. Oh.
Marv, can you please not be so mean to Greg? I really want you two to get along.
I wouldn't even bother with him, Jen. Why you and Carlos even attempt to stay in contact with that sack of shit is beyond me. You are both better than that criminal.
Are you being serious? You don't even... You know the reason Carlos isn't in jail right now is because of me, right? If anything, I'm the reason he's not sitting in a cell right now. He's just as much as a criminal as me. He can't just get caught. Yet he is worthy to keep around and I'm not.
Do you think you're some sort of hero for not being a rat? I know what Carlos' part in that robbery was, and I don't condone it. But guess what? He saw the line in that sand, no matter what the circumstance were for it, and he made sure to never cross it. In fact, when he saw the line, he put himself on a mission to become a man and have an actual life. Carlos got his GED. Did you? I know there are plenty of opportunities to do so in prison, but you didn't take any of them, did you?
How are you gonna assume I didn't get my GED? You never visited me once while I was in there.
Well, did you?
Marv stops for a second and just looks pissed off.
Well, no, I didn't. But that doesn't mean I'm not a better person than when I went in. I could get my GED if I wanted to.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I didn't need to see you to know you didn't change at all from the last time I saw you. You are beyond that point of no return. There is no place left for you in society. There is no coming back from the hole you dug yourself. You are just wasting air. That the rest of us could be breathing.
Marv stands up and throws a plate over Jen, and it shatters against the wall behind him. Jen, with tears in her eyes, ducks down while Greg covers her with his arms to ensure no pieces of the plate ricochet and hit her. Carlos comes running out of the kitchen and looks around to see what happened. Marge walks out behind him, stepping barefoot on the shattered plate, not even realizing, and pops the bottle of champagne.
Woo! I'm gonna be a grandmother.
You're lucky I even let you stay when you came today. It was against my better judgment to let a criminal into my home, and it's clear I should have trusted my gut. So get out before I call the police.
Marv storms out of the apartment. Well,
I probably should go. Sorry about the plate. He means good, I swear. Just give him a chance.
Have a good night, Carlos.
Interior Carlos' apartment day. The scene opens in Carlos' dirty apartment. Marv is laying upside down on the couch, bouncing the ball across the room and getting it to bounce perfectly back to him each time. Marv's phone goes off. His phone shows that it is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving at 12 p.m. His lock screen is the Detroit Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown. The text that set off his phone is from an unsaved number. Marv catches the ball, puts it in his left hand, and picks up his phone with his right hand. The phone was sitting on the box. It came out with a receipt hanging out with Carlos's name on it. The text reads, "Hey Marv, this is Greg. I got your number from Jen. I think we got off on the wrong foot a couple of days ago. Do you want to meet up for lunch sometime this week? My treat. I just want to get to know my future brother-in-law a little better." Marv flips the phone back onto the ground and the screen lands on the ground. Marv returns to bouncing the ball and the door opens. Marv looks over in confusion as Carlos walks in.
What are you doing back? I thought you had work.
It's my lunch break. I just stopped in to get lunch. Any luck finding a job yet?
No, not yet. I have a few projects, though.
You know, I could get you a job with me. We're always looking for more hands, and construction pays pretty well.
I don't need your handouts. I can get a job myself.
Carlos looks at the phone receipt on the floor and looks around in the apartment but holds his tongue.
Nah, man, it's not a handout. I'm just getting you an interview, and then you can handle the rest.
Marv gets up angrily.
I told you I can get a job on my own.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Where have you been looking at?
Get off my back about this shit, will you? I was just gonna go apply to that counter store down the street later today.
The one that is also a Chinese food restaurant? Are you sure that's a good idea? That entails a lot of interacting with other people.
What are you trying to say?
You're my boy. I love you, man. But you can get frustrated very easily and become hostile. Working a job where you have to constantly interact with customers does not sound like a good idea.
I am more than capable of working a simple-ass corner store job.
I know you can, but maybe consider...
Marv storms out the door and starts aggressively walking towards the Home Depot. Carlos swings open the door behind him.
Hey man, you forgot your phone. It's best you keep it on you.
Marv stops in his tracks, rolls his eyes, and walks back down towards Carlos and aggressively grabs his phone.
Thanks.
No problem. Good luck.
Marv looks a little more cooled off, but goes back in the direction he was coming from. Interior corner store day. Marv enters the corner store and approaches an old man who's working there. Marv prepares himself to have to talk to someone and puts on a fake smile.
Good afternoon. I was looking to work here. Who do I have to talk to about that?
What was that? You said you were looking for food? What kind?
Marv is struggling to keep his composure.
No, I said I wanted to work here.
Oh, you said you want a workout bar? There, just this way.
Marv starts to lose his temper.
No! Open your ears, you old fart. Honestly, how do you work here? What do you do that's worth paying you?
How do you work here? Oh, you just gotta talk to Leanne. I can call her over.
Old worker shouts over to the office that is stationed between the register for the Chinese food restaurant and the register for the corner store register.
Hey, Leanne, could I get you at the front real quick?
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll be right there. The old worker and Marv stand there in an awkward silence for a second.
So, where was the last place you worked?
This would be my first job.
What was that?
This would be my first job.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
This will be my first job!
Oh. Oh, that is great. I hope I get to work with you then. Good luck.
Getting pissed off at the conversation, Marv is about to walk away, but is stopped when Leanne gets to the front. You want a job here, right?
Yeah.
How often can you work?
As much as you need. I just got out.
All right, great. Get here at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll get all the financial stuff figured out at some point in the future.
Alright, that sounds good.
Leanne goes back to her office. Marv goes to leave the store. As Marv is walking out, Dom walks into the corner store. She's about 5'7". She dresses very feminine and acts that way as well.
Oh, well, look who it is. When did they let you out, handsome?
I just got out less than a week ago.
That's good. Where are you staying now that you're out?
I'm crashing over with Carlos.
That makes sense. He owes you at least that. Along with all of us that you didn't rat on when you got caught.
Dom turns around and goes back out the door with Marv and puts her arm around him.
Now listen, if you need anything, you come let me know. I'll take care of you. If you need a little extra cash, I can get you in on a job.
I think I'm trying to stay away from that type of stuff, you know? I just got a job here, actually.
Hey! That is 100% respectable. If there's anything else you need, you let me know though, okay? Here, let me put my number in your phone.
Dom grabs Marv's phone, turns the screen to his face to open it, then opens the contacts app and makes herself a contact.
I'm going over to the courts to shoot around this weekend. You should stop by.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, let's just say that you will want me on your team if we shoot him.
Of course! And if you ever just want to hang out one-on-one, let me know.
Interior Jen's house night. Jen and Greg are in the kitchen washing dishes together.
Did Marv ever get back to you on going out to eat?
No, I haven't heard back yet. You sure you gave me the right number?
Greg takes out his phone, opens to his contacts, and shows Jen the number.
Yeah, that's the right one.
I'm sure he just hasn't seen it yet. I'm sure he will respond.
No. He definitely saw it. I think he's just ignoring you.
Greg goes to hug Jen.
Oh, he'll come around. I know he will. Why don't you reach out and invite him over for dinner? Probably
Yeah.
won't decline an invitation from you.
Jen picks her head up off of Greg's shoulder.
That's probably a good idea. I'll give that a try.
Jen takes out her phone and calls Marv. The phone doesn't even finish ringing once before Marv picks up.
Hey Jen, what's up?
Not much. I'm just cleaning the dishes.
Marv sounds like he's out of breath. Marv is doing push-ups with the phone on speaker.
That damn asshole can't even get you a dishwasher.
Well, no, we have a dishwasher, but we just think it's best to hand wash the dishes before putting them in the...
Let me guess. Simon put that idea in your head. I bet he has you sitting there cleaning the dishes while he's laying on the couch watching TV.
Yeah, just keep going.
Well, actually,
Jen starts pacing and walks into the other room, seemingly walking in circles.
You know, Jen, if he ever pulls anything, that asshole of yours, Simon, just let me know. I'll beat the shit out of him. No one messes with my little sister.
I appreciate that, but,
Marv stops doing push-ups and sits up on one knee.
Because if you ever need anything, I'll be there. Don't afraid to call. Don't hesitate. I'll always be there for you.
thank you, Marv. I appreciate it, but I'm really fine. Greg is great, and I would never do anything to.
Greg? Who the hell is Greg? Is there another guy I have to whoop the ass of?
Marv, Greg is the name of my fiance. I think you're just confused. Anyway, I was calling because I was wondering if you would want to go bowling tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, of course. I loved getting to spend one-on-one time with you.
Well, no, it wouldn't be one-on-one because Greg will be there.
Marv is now doing sit-ups.
Can't the asshole go do something else? Does he have any friends or something?
No, I really want you to get to know him with us, getting married and all.
Marv sits up.
Fine.
Marv hangs up the phone and throws it at Carlos's couch as hard as he can. Interior Jen's apartment night. Marv is now off.
You know,
Jen looks at the phone for a second as the call ends and looks visibly distraught. She softly puts her phone on the counter and goes over to hug Greg again.
you know, all things considered, I think that went pretty well.
Exterior corner store day. Alright, Marv is now standing next to the doors of the corner store, seemingly nervous. He checks his phone for the first time. It is 8:59. He starts tapping his foot impatiently as he drops the arm with his phone to his side. He then picks it back up to check what time again. This time the time says 9 o'clock. Marv's eyes widen and he walks into the corner store. He doesn't see anyone up front, so he walks towards the office where Leanne is sitting. Oh good, you're here. Have you ever worked a register before?
No.
Oh, well I'm sure you can figure it out. Gilbert will be around, so if you need help, you can just ask him.
Who's Gilbert?
You met him when you were here yesterday. He's been here for a while. He knows his way around the store.
I bet he knows.
What was that?
Oh, sorry. I said, where is he now?
He's at the register behind you working the Chinese restaurant. They aren't too busy this early, so if you need anything, go ask him. Don't bother me. I'm busy doing work in my office.
Okay, but how do I?
Leanne is moving fast to the back of the store towards her office. Ask Gilbert. Marv walks over to Gilbert.
Hey man, can you show me how to use the register?
You're looking for a lighter?
No, how do I use the register?
Oh, I'm sorry. So are you ready to check out then?
No, I work here, dumbass. Look at my uniform. I need you to show me how to use the register.
Oh, okay. I can show you real quick. It's not too hard.
Gilbert walks over to one of the registers, presses in a couple buttons to get it started as Marv walks over.
I set it up for you so you don't have to worry about that. But now if someone buys something, scan it with this. And then ask them for cash or card. If it's card, press the button and they will use their card on the card reader. If cash, type in how much cash they gave you and it will tell you how much change they get.
Gilbert walks away as Marv just sits by the register. Marv sits there looking incredibly bored. Time starts to move by faster as Marv is just sitting by the register waiting. We see a time lapse of the next 8 hours of his shift and see around like 7 people actually buy stuff. At 5 on the dot, Marv walks out of the store without a second thought. New scene, interior Carlos's apartment day. Carlos is sitting on the couch playing Madden on the Xbox in the living room as Marv walks in.
Hey Marv, what's up? How's your first day at the new occupancy?
It was really, actually, I don't know why I thought I could do this there. There were hardly any people in there.
Hey man, sorry for doubting you. I'm glad you enjoy it.
I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I enjoy the money it brings.
Well shit, that's what matters then. Are you trying to get in on this?
Before Marv can even answer, Carlos tosses the controller at him. Marv reaches down and snatches it out of the air.
Yeah, I'll play a game or two, but I'm playing as the Lions.
Yeah, you got that, man. You doing anything tonight?
Marv takes a second to answer as he's focused on the game.
Yeah. I was going to go bowling with my sister.
When are you doing that?
I don't know, maybe like an hour or two.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Well, not really.
What do you mean?
Her dickhead fiance Grant is gonna be there.
Oh, come on, Greg. Come on, man. Greg is a stubious guy. Just give the guy a chance.
On the screen, Carlos scores a touchdown, putting him up 22-0. Marv throws his controller at the wall in rage. Whether it's over the game, the conversation, or a bit of both, it is unclear.
If you like that asshole so much, why don't you just go?
Well, thanks for the invite, Marv. That sounds like fun. I love bowling. Also, if that controller broke, you're buying a new one with that Lowe's money.
Marv is just standing over Carlos, who's starting up a new game without him, with a look of confusion taking over the look of anger on his face. Interior bowling alley night. Marv and Carlos walk into the bowling alley. Greg and Jen are already there waiting for them.
Alright.
Oh shoot, Carlos! I didn't know you were coming. Hold on. I didn't know you were coming. Hold on, let me get you a pair of shoes real quick. Oh, here you go, Marv.
Greg extends his arm to give Marv the shoes in his hands. Marv glares at him and grabs the shoes and inspects them real quick. Greg ran up to the desk in front of them to get another pair of shoes.
Why would I wear these ugly ass shoes? My shoes are perfectly fine.
Those shoes are specifically for bowling, Marv.
Wait, Marv, have you never been bowling before?
Marv looks over at Carlos, pissed off.
No.
Greg walks back over with the shoes for Carlos and throws them over to him as he's talking.
What? Marv, you've never been bowling? Oh man, you are in for a treat. It is such a good time. I'm on a bowling team with some of my buddies at the...
I'm gonna stop you right there. I don't need you to hear your whole life story.
Jen looks a little anxious after Marv says that. Greg looks at her and smiles.
My bad. I didn't mean to ramble. Let's go bowl. We're over here this way. Lane 24.
They all follow Greg over to the lane. They are pointing them over to him.
I'm gonna put in the names. I love messing around with prehistoric bowling technology.
Oh yeah, Marv, I got my own ball. If you want to use it too, you're more than welcome to.
No, I'm good. I'd rather use one of those crappy looking ones laying around.
Those are the right size shoes for you, right, Marv?
I don't know. I'm not wearing those dirty ass shoes.
You have to wear them to bowl. The bowling alley requires it.
I don't think any of them give enough of a shit to confront me about it.
Marv, can you please just put the shoes on?
Marv drops the shoes on the ground.
Fine, I'll put them on.
Marv reluctantly takes off his shoes and puts the bowling shoes on.
Alright, let's see what I got.
Carlos runs up to where the bowling lane stops and abruptly stops himself, almost falling into the bowling lane, and lets the ball rip down the right side of the lane. He hits the foremost right pins.
Aw, damn, I'm gonna get those pins this time around. Just you watch.
Carlos does the same running motion up the lane, but lets it fly to the left this time. He gets all of his pins except for the middle center pin. Carlos walks back to the table where everyone else is sitting.
Hey, you guys see that? The lane's flipping me off.
In a very rare occurrence, Marv starts laughing at that.
Hey, I bet if you don't do that running start, you knock them all down.
As soon as Greg starts talking, Marv stops laughing and rolls his eyes.
Huh. I'll have to try that on my next turn and see if you're right.
The screen says it is Greg's turn to bowl.
Hey, Marv, want to make a little wager?
What is it?
If I beat you, you gotta hang out with me. Just me. And you. But if you win, I'll give you $100.
Deal. That's easy money. All I gotta do is throw this ball real hard and I'll knock down those pins.
Jen smirks as Greg goes to shake Marv's hand. Greg opens the box-shaped little bag that is on the floor and pulls out his bowling ball. It is shiny and really smooth with green and red tie-dye being the pattern. He walks up to the lane slowly with his ball held at his chest and his left hand holding the ball still. He brings the ball back and it releases in the middle of the lane and veers off left. Marv smirks at this until he sees the ball curve back in and hits the center pin at an angle and knocks all the pins down. Greg walks back to the table.
No, you got lucky that it curved around, but watch. I will knock them all down real quick.
Marv walks up to the lane angrily and launches the ball as hard as he can. Everyone in the bowling alley could hear that ball hit the lane. It goes straight down the middle and knocks down a good amount of pins, but leaves 2 on each side. This pisses Marv off. He goes back to the machine to wait for the ball to return to him. impatiently holding his hand over where it will come out at. As soon as the ball pops out, he grabs it and angrily throws it to the left. The ball misses the pins and lands in the gutter. Marv walks back to the table, really angry.
If you want, I can show you how to throw the ball with a curve.
Shut up! You got lucky, don't gloat.
Yo, if Marv doesn't want to learn how to do it, show me. That would be cool.
Oh yeah, I can show you next time you're up to bowl.
Jen
I'll show you
also-
next time you're up to bowl.
Jen also has a similar looking bag to Greg, and she pulls out a smaller pink and light blue ball, looking similar to cotton candy. She goes up to the lane similar to Greg, but a little more sloppy, and releases just like Greg. The ball goes out to the right and curves back in and knocks down all but the 3 pins on the far right.
All right, there you go. That was good. You got these last 3 pins for sure.
Jen blushes a little as she goes to wait for her ball to come back. She repeats the same motion, but this time releases to the left, and it curves to the right and knocks down all 3 pins.
All right, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Jen is blushing as she double high fives, then kisses Greg. Marv gags at the sight of this. Greg then gets up with Carlos to show him how to bowl the curveball.
One way or another, you're gonna end up liking him.
You seem overly optimistic.
I think I'm just the right amount optimistic. I know he will win you over whenever you decide that you can trust people other than me and Carlos.
I know how to trust other people. I just don't trust him. Something about him seems off.
Maybe it wouldn't if you got to know him.
The conversation is interrupted by Greg bowling a strike again. Marv looks over frustrated. Marv swings up out of his seat to go bowl.
One more for a turkey.
Marv storms past Greg. Greg grabs the ball and chucks the ball as hard as he can down the lane, and he hits 3 pins. He walks back over frustrated to the ball return, waits impatiently for his ball, goes back to bowl, does the same thing, and hits 2 more pins. The rest of the game is a montage. Carlos plays a middle-of-the-road game, getting better as it goes using Greg's help.
All right.
Greg keeps throwing strikes, and in seemingly rare cases, spares, playing nearly a perfect game. Marv gets increasingly frustrated as he continues the ball to bowl. As the game goes on, he starts to bowl more and more gutter balls because he is in his own head and angry and frustrated. Jen plays a consistently good game as well, but not as good as Greg. The ending score ends up being Carlos having 126, Greg 287, Marv 48, and Jen 185.
Well, Marv, looks like you have to hang out with me. How's December 16th sound? It's a Sunday.
Nah, man, you tricked me. You didn't tell me that you were good at bowling. Screw you, man. Screw your deal.
You don't want to go with me to Lions Broncos on the 50 by the Lions bench?
Marv looks at him kind of shocked.
Well, I guess I have to be a man of my word, so fine. I'll hang out with you.
Jen grins ear to ear. Interior, Carlos's apartment day. Marv is lying on the couch with his phone on the ground. The calendar on the back wall is set to Saturday. Carlos walks out of his room in pajamas.
Oh. Got my costume.
That's all good. Marv is still in jeans and a t-shirt.
Hey, Marv.
Marv is still laying dead asleep. Carlos goes over to shake him to wake him up. Marv jumps forward looking angry.
What do you want?
Do we have work this morning?
Marv cooling down a bit.
Oh yeah, what time is it?
Marv reaches down to grab his phone and turns it on, but it is dead.
It's almost like 10:30.
What? Why the fuck did you wake me up sooner? I had to be in at 9.
Marv starts digging through the pile of clothes next to the couch, looking through the clothes he wears for work.
Didn't you set an alarm?
Yeah, but my phone died.
Marv is getting his clothes on as he is running out the door. Marv is putting on his shoe as he is hopping down the sidewalk. Once it is on, he runs down the street towards the corner store. Marv runs into the corner store. Interior corner store day. Leanne is standing at the counter helping a customer. There are a few people in line. There are also a few other customers shopping in the store. Where the hell have you been?
I overslept.
Lose the attitude and get on the register.
Fine.
Listen, I'd rather work by myself than with an unreliable grunt who I have to pay to get your shit. So get your shit together and go get on the register. Marv doesn't say anything and gets on the register. He starts checking out the next customer. check out the next customer, one of the customers turns around and goes to the line and is revealed to be Gunther. They make eye contact and Marv immediately goes back to looking at the customer in front of him.
Why am I not surprised at all that this criminal is this disgruntled employee who is clogging up the line? Some of us have a place to be, Marvin.
Marv finishes cashing out the customer and goes on to the next one, mustering his last bit of patience to ignore his father. There is currently one more person in front of Gunther in line.
Some of us have places to be. Can we hurry it up? Get this shit out of your eyes. You should have been awake a lot earlier.
Dad, just let me do my job and leave me alone. You might as well just leave because I'm not helping you.
First of all, don't call me dad. No criminal is a son of mine. And second, I am a customer. You have to serve me.
Leanne comes out of the back. You better not refuse service to any customers. You are already on thin ice. Leanne runs back into her little office. Gunther is now at the register and puts a case of beer and pancake batter on the counter.
How much of a discount do I get?
You don't get a discount.
Well, why not? I think I deserve a discount.
You don't deserve a discount. Why the hell would you deserve a discount? You just said I'm not your son.
Well, you lived under my roof for 17 years, so I figured I deserve a discount. So how much of a discount do I get?
I'm not giving you a discount, especially to buy alcohol. We both know damn well Mom doesn't need any more of that.
You get the privilege of calling her mom, and she can drink as much as she wants. She's an adult, and it keeps her off my back.
No wonder Mom is a drunk.
I will not take this level of disrespect from a dirty crook like you.
Carlos walks into the store with Marv's phone and a charger in his hand. Gunther looks to the office where Leanne is sitting.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can you control your employee? He is refusing to serve me and is very hostile.
Leanne storms out of the office. That's it. I've had it with you, Marv. You're fired.
What? I didn't do anything. This old geezer who gave birth to me is just being an asshole for no reason.
Did I stutter? Do I need to call the police to get you out of here? Marv looks like his head is about to explode. He looks at Leanne and then sets his eyes on Gunther, almost as if he was shooting lasers out of his eyes at him. Marv leaps over the counter with, which is half his height, and tackles Gunther. Leanne pulls out her phone.
Wait, don't call the police. I'll get them out of here.
You have a minute before I call.
Get off me, you crook. It's not my fault you can't hold a job.
Quite literally, it's your. Oh my God! It's quite literally, it's your fault.
Marv is about to throw a punch, but Carlos grabs his arm and pulls him backwards, with so much force that they both fall backwards out of the door of the store. Marv lands funny and is a little slow to get up, so he and Carlos lay outside the store. Gunther gets up and walks out of the store, stands over Marv and spits on him before walking away, holding his beer and pancake mix.
You should have chose your friends more wisely, Carlos.
Marv jumps up ready to attack his father, but as he gets ready to run at him, Carlos grabs his ankles and he falls back to the ground, face forward. Marv looks back at him pissed off.
I'm sorry, man, but it's not worth it.
Marv looks back down at a fortune cookie that was broken, that had fallen out of his pocket. He picks it up and reads, "If at first you don't succeed, try again." Marv rips it up and throws it back to the ground. Exterior, basketball court, day. Dom is at the court with 3 other shady-looking guys, and for some reason, has heels on and at the basketball court as Marv approaches with his leg scratched up.
Hey, Marv, how's it going?
It's not going.
Oh, why? What happened? Does it have to do with why your legs are all scratched?
That's not important. I'm here to play ball.
In that case, I want you on my team.
So, what are we running? 3-on-3?
Yeah, us 3 versus you 2, and whoever else you can find. He points to the other 2 goons behind him, and they all laugh.
Oh, come on. We want a fair match. Now, don't we?
Marv looks them up and down. They are in decent shape. None are as tall and as in shape as Marv.
I could make quick work of both of you 3 by myself, but we are doing 3v3, so I'm happy to take Dom and
Marv looks around and looks over at the kid shooting on the basketball basket behind them, who hasn't made a single shot the entire time they've been there.
I'll take that kid over there. That's as my third.
Oh, you're on. You'd be lucky to score once with that team.
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Nothing. Just a little friendly smack talk, you know?
Okay, good. That's what I thought.
Marv walks over to the kid who's shooting by himself.
Hey, you wanna come play with us? We need a third for threes.
The kid kind of nervously shakes his head and follows Marv over to the court. Goon 3 chucks the ball at Marv as if to check up. Marv glares at him and throws it intensely back at him, and Goon 3 returns the ball to Marv. Again, as soon as Marv gets the ball, he dribbles past Goon 3, causing him to fall on the ground, and goes up on and dunks on Goon 2, sending him to the ground. Marv throws the ball at Goon 1. Okay. Marv throws the ball at Goon 1, who's still on his feet, who is standing there kind of shocked at what just happened. Don't get used to that. You won't get past us again. Marv and Goon 1 check up the ball, and Goon 1 passes the ball to Goon 3, who is right under the basket. Goon 3 is nobody, I guess. He goes to lay it up, and Marv comes flying in and swats it out of his hand. Marv continues to single-handedly destroy the whole other team.
What are we playing? Till 21?
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, you guess we are 1 point away from winning.
Goon 1 just looks pissed off. Marv goes to the ball and passed it to the kid. The kid passed it back to him. Marv passed it back to the kid.
Go ahead, shoot him in the game.
The kid goes up with poor form and air balls. He looks defeated. Marv got the ball back and checked up with Goon 1, who then passed it to Goon 2, who was being guarded by Dom. Dom pressed her heel into Goon 1's foot. He drops the ball and grabs his foot. Dom grabs the ball and passes it to Marv. Marv passes it back to the kid. The kid passes it back to Marv, who passes it right back to the kid.
I hurt my wrist. I can't shoot. You have to win it.
The kid shoots and Marv rushes the paint. The ball bounces off the backboard. Marv goes up over Goon 1 and Goon 3 to rebound the ball and passes it back to the kid as he's rebounding the ball midair. The kid gets closer to the net and shoots and again misses off the rim and the backboard. Marv again gets the rebound, now over all three goons, and passes it back to the kid, who finally makes the shot. After making the shot, the kid had the biggest grin on his face. Marv runs over and gives him a high five.
You see that? You beat those chumps.
Dom walks over and high fives Marv. Marv then turns around to talk shit to everyone he just beat. When he turns around, the kid tries to high five Dom, who looks disgusted at the sight of the kid's hand. She slaps the kid's hand away and gets a nasty look on her face.
Oh.
Scram!
Oh.
The kid looks at Dom in confusion and shock and doesn't really know how to react. Dom lifts up her shirt to reveal that somehow has a gun tucked away and hidden in her jean shorts. The kid immediately runs away. Dom then walks up behind Marv and reaches up to put her arm around him.
Wow, you are so talented. You definitely could have gone pro.
Marv turns around into a hug by Dom, seemingly celebrating. Dom, while in the hug, waves off the goons in a very aggressive manner without Marv seeing, and they all run off.
It'd be awesome to play for the Pistons or something. That is a job I think I can do. Wait, where'd that kid go?
Dom comes out of the hug and grabs the basketball and starts dribbling.
Oh, I think you ran off. Probably had to get home, but what do you mean that would be a job you could keep? Did that grouch at the corner store fire you?
Yeah, I'm not trying to think about it too much.
It's just not fair, is it?
What?
How the world is treating you right now.
What do you mean by that?
Since you spend time in jail, the world treats you differently and unfairly. You'll never be able to live life by the book. The world is set up for you to fail again. Even if you do manage to get a job, they'll just use you being a convict as a reason to fire you if you do one thing wrong. That's just how the world works. I've seen so many other people go through the same things. It's rough.
I guess you're right. The world is unfair. But what can I do? What did the people you know do?
Marv gets past the ball from Dom and starts shooting it.
It's funny you ask, because all those people who you just met in the basketball game, they're all currently working on this job with me. And I'm just gonna say it. We could use somebody like you for this job. And it pays well.
I don't know, Dom. What kind of job are we talking about here?
Okay, it's gonna sound worse and more complicated than it really is, but we have a plan to obtain a bunch of money from a TD bank.
Robbing a bank? Listen, Dom, I'm trying to get away from that life. I definitely don't want to go back to jail for robbing a bank.
Dom starts getting touchy with Marv as she explains it to him as if to influence his decision.
I know, it sounds bad, but it isn't like a grand, complicated scheme and a huge bank like in the movies. We have it all planned out. It will be a quick job and we should be able to get out, no problem.
I already did time for an armed robbery. If I get caught doing one in a bank, I don't know how long I'll go away for. There has got to be some other job for me to get.
Oh, I understand, but the world is not fair. There isn't a job for you out there. Nobody wants a crook like you. You did your time and you got out, but they still don't want to give you work. The world isn't going to give you opportunities to earn money, so you have to take it.
I don't know. I got that last job pretty easily. I think I could get another one.
You're better than most even trying. I think a lot of you because of that. Listen, if it doesn't work out and you can't find anything in the next 2 weeks, and you finally realize that the world is out to get you, swing by this address, Friday the 15th, and take back your spot in society.
Dom slips Marv a piece of paper.
And on another note, I was wondering if you wanted to help me with something else in the meantime.
No, I'll think about your first offer, but I really don't want to get back into that line of work, and I certainly won't be doing any job you want me to do tonight.
Oh, no, okay. I just needed someone to keep me company later tonight, but if you don't want any of my jobs.
Oh, wait, I think I misunderstood what you were saying.
Dom gives Marv another note, this one with her address on it. She winked at Marv and walked away. Interior Carlos's apartment. It's still early in the morning, and the doors to Carlos's apartment open, and Marv walks in. Carlos is sitting on the couch that Marv usually sleeps on, with a bowl of cereal, eating it and watching TV. Marv looks very happy, happier than we have previously seen him, seemingly out of character.
Hey Marv, what's up?
Not much. What's up with you?
Why are you so chapper this morning?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? You're never really this lively. What were you up to last night?
I was just...
Holy shit, you were just with a girl last night, weren't you? Never would I guess that you got a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
No, I don't have a girlfriend. Wait, what do you mean you didn't think I could get a girlfriend?
Don't take it personally, Marv. I was clearly wrong. You were with a girl last night.
How do you know that I was with a girl last night?
Is it cliche to say that it's because I'm your best friend? Also, you have never really interacted with any other girls besides your mom and your sister in your 25 years of life, so it's kind of obvious. Oh, and I guess Dom too, when we used to do work for her.
Well, I guess that's still the case.
What do you mean that's still the case?
Never mind that. It's not important.
Carlos is holding his bowl of cereal in one hand and on the other hand counting up to 3 with his fingers.
I really hope you don't mean Dom, but at the same time, I hope you do, because if it were the other two options, that would be very weird.
What's wrong with me hanging out with Dom?
So many things are wrong with that, dude. She was a grown adult who we would commit armed robberies for when we were in high school.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and Marv, even associating with my cousin is a bad idea. I bet you right after she slept with you, she tried to get you to do a job with her.
Actually, it was before she slept with me that she asked me. And what's wrong with me taking one of her jobs? The world is out to get me. Nowhere else is going to hire me and let me stay employed. Let me stay employed because I'm a criminal.
What are you talking about? I have offered you a job. Greg has offered you a job. You can get other jobs. You don't have to turn back to work with Dom.
I can't rely on handoffs the rest of my life.
It's not a handout. I'm giving you a job opportunity. And what do you mean the world is out to get you? I'm letting you live here, rent-free. Now that's a handout, but it isn't a bad thing.
Exactly everything I have is because of you helping me out. I need to earn something on my own. And sure, I will try and get another job, but I think working with Dom might be the only way to do that for myself.
If you take that job with Dom, you're not gonna have somewhere to sleep. You got that?
Fine. Whatever you say. I guess I just won't be able to support myself for the rest of my life.
Listen, dude, if you're really unwilling to work with me or Greg, I'm sure we can find you something. But you just gotta pick your head up, actually look, and don't show up late to work.
I'll look around tomorrow.
Okay, good. Now, more importantly, my boy got late. How was it? Actually, wait, no, I don't want to know. That's my cousin. Friggin' sicko.
Interior Whole Foods day. Marv is standing over someone who is counting loaves of bread on a shelf intensely and maintaining conversation with Marv. The man is dressed very professionally and looks as if he could be younger than Marv. The Whole Foods is incredibly clean and stocked with food on the shelves.
So, are you guys hiring?
Hold on. 23, 24, 25. The Whole Foods manager is touching the eraser of his pencil against every loaf of bread he counts. Marv looks annoyed and is starting to get frustrated. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Marv becomes increasingly impatient and taps the guy on the shoulder. The guy jumps and drops his pencil and a couple of loaves of bread on the ground.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to see if you guys were hiring.
We are, but I'm not going to hire someone who can't wait a minute for me to finish counting inventory. The Whole Foods manager picks up the loaves of bread off the ground and starts counting with those loaves of bread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Marv is pissed off and slaps all the bread off the shelf and walks away. Come back here. What's your name? I'll have you trespass. Marv walks out of the store and the Whole Foods manager follows him out of the store. Without turning his head, Marv flips off the Whole Foods manager, knowing he was behind him. Marv walks down the street over to FedEx shipping center. The yelling from the Whole Foods manager dies down. Marv walks into the FedEx shipping center, and the floor is seemingly really dirty. Marv didn't seem to mind there are a bunch of people packing and lifting a vast majority of things on and off conveyor belts. There was a group of people lifting a refrigerator. Marv stood by the entrance and was greeted by someone that was somehow bigger than him and had arms bigger than his forehead.
Good morning. How can I help you?
Morning. I was here to see if you're hiring.
Oh yeah, we are looking for a big, strong workers around here. Let me take you to the back to give you the
Do not hire that scumbag. He assaulted me when I didn't give him a job.
What are you on about? All I did was knock over some bread.
Hold on. Let's calm down now. And I'll take a breath.
I have to get back to the store, but I'll tell you right now, if you hire this lunatic, I will see to it that no one in here can shop at the Whole Foods. The Whole Foods manager left the FedEx shipping center and left Marv standing in front of the FedEx worker who looks really frustrated. Marv just looks infuriated.
I really want to hire you, man. But listen, I really don't want to have a problem with that prick over at the Whole Foods. We all take our break there. I hope you understand.
Come on, man. He doesn't have to know you hired me. I could be a huge help here.
Like I said, I really can't take that risk, but
Marv clenches his fists and starts turning around and walking angrily in the direction of the Whole Foods.
hey man, hold up!
Marv stops and turns around.
Don't do anything stupid now. Listen, I can't hire you, but there is this construction company farther down the street, and they are always willing to hire people. Just stop by there.
Marv stops for a second and takes a breath, but he is still pissed off.
Thank you.
Exterior streets of Detroit day. Marv walks down the street visibly frustrated and trying to cool off. As he enters the construction company, Carlos walks into the building. He doesn't see Marv, but Marv sees him and walks away.
Alright, one more. I will try one more time to get a fucking job. It'll probably be a waste of time, but I'll do it so I can say no one will hire me.
Interior Apple store. Marv walks into the Apple store and quickly walks up to the girl at the counter, as if he doesn't even want to be there. The girl at the counter is dressed in very modern clothes.
You guys hiring?
We actually are at the moment. We just do everything when it comes to hiring online. Here, you can just scan this QR code to get to the page. To get to the page to apply.
Marv pulls out his phone, which is now cracked and beat up, and points it at the QR code with nothing happening.
It's not working.
Do you have your camera app open?
No.
Oh, well, you need to open that app before you scan the code, and then the link will pop up on your phone.
Marv, frustrated, taps on his phone a bunch and puts it at different angles pointing at the code. He still can't get it.
Do you want me to try?
No, I can get it.
Marv is still struggling to get it to scan. After fumbling around with his phone for a little bit longer, he finally gets it.
So what is it asking me so I can fill out in the answers? I can't read some of what it says because my phone is cracked.
Okay, so basically it's just going to ask for your name, your birthday, your place of address, former work experience. Once you have that filled out, you'll come in with your social security card and any payment information so we can do the background check and get you set up with direct deposit if you want.
What do you mean by background check?
Oh, well, we're just going to run a background check on you to make sure you don't have criminal history. It's nothing to worry about. It's just standard procedure with the company.
So you don't hire felons?
I mean, sometimes under certain circumstances we will, but not usually.
Marv starts walking towards the door.
Oh, wait!
Marv perks up a little bit as he turns around.
I couldn't help but notice you're in need of a new phone. Would you like to check out some of the current models we have in the store to see if one can serve as a suitable replacement?
No, it's brand new!
Marv leaves the store pissed off as the Apple employee just kind of confused. Looks kind of confused. Interior beaten down apartment night. The door creeps open and Marv enters. There isn't much room in the apartment, and what little room there is covered in filth. Goon 1 and Goon 2 are smoking on the couch with stuffing coming out of it. There's a new looking whiteboard, and in the middle of the room with a marker on it with the cap off. Goon 1 and Goon 2 are glaring at Marv through the sides of their eyes. There is a table in front of the couch with guns on it. Suddenly Dom comes out of the bedroom, her hair kind of a mess, and her clothes all messed up. She's followed by Goon 3, who's putting his shirt back on. Marv is oblivious to what probably just happened in that room. As soon as Dom sees Marv, she puts her hand through her hair as to get it looking not as messy really quickly, before acting like nothing happened.
Oh, hey, Marv. I knew you'd come to your senses.
Yeah, you were right. There wasn't anything else out there for me.
It always stings to learn that lesson, but welcome to the team. We're happy to have you. We pay better than any of those jobs anyway.
I don't want to make this a reoccurring thing. I just need to get back on my feet. I don't want to be a permanent member of this team.
If that's what you really want,
We don't want you around anyway.
watch yourself.
Dom points over to Goon 1, who's visibly shaken by Dom's words. Marv just kind of glares at Goon 1. Marv uses air quotes while saying bank heist.
So when does this bank heist go down?
December 26th.
The day after Christmas?
Yeah, that should catch them off guard more than usual.
I guess that makes sense. Okay. What do I have to do?
You just have to stand there and look pretty.
Marv looks at Dom confused.
Well, not really pretty, more like intimidating, but you get what I was trying to say. None of these assholes will scare the people in there as much as you. A guy as big and strong as you with a ski mask on and a gun, they'll hand over the money real quick.
Okay, so I just have to hold a gun and point it at the bank tellers.
Yep. It's pretty simple, isn't it? We'll take care of actually getting the money and the getaway and stuff, but you just have to worry about holding this gun.
Dom hands Marv one of the pistols sitting on the table.
Is this the gun I'm gonna use?
It's better than just that. It's your gun. Consider it an early Christmas present.
Thanks, but I think I'd rather just leave it here until the 26th.
Around here, we're responsible for our own equipment, so it's best you take it with you.
Marv is taken aback by Dom's sudden aggression towards him.
Alright, then I'll hold on to it. Is it loaded?
Yes, and if everything goes to plan, it should stay that way.
What do you mean if everything goes to plan? I'm not gonna shoot anyone.
What? Have you never shot someone before?
No, I haven't. Nor do I intend to.
Okay, let's relax. We probably won't have to shoot anyone.
Probably.
Yes, probably. The only reason we would have to take someone out is if someone messes up and shows their face for some reason. I don't want to go to jail, so I will choose my life over theirs every day of the week.
Okay, but as long as everyone conceals their face, no one would get hurt.
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, I don't see anyone being stupid enough to show their face, so I guess that isn't an issue.
No, I guess not.
Marv looks relieved. Goon 1 is rolling his eyes at Goon 2 in the background and puts one of the guns to his head and acts like he's about to shoot himself.
All We will meet up a week from now at the store next to the bank. It'll be crowded because people will be doing their last-second Christmas shopping, but that will play into our favor. We will run through the plan with the bank in our sight.
Okay, cool. I will probably have to do Christmas shopping anyway.
Yes, that's perfect. Just don't use a card. We can't risk putting any of us in the area a couple days before we do this.
Did you really think I owned a credit card?
Interior, Carlos's apartment night. It is the next day. Clock reads 6:30, and Marv is on the couch asleep. Carlos is sitting on the floor in front of the couch Marv is sleeping on, because Marv is stretched out over the whole couch playing Xbox. He is playing Minecraft building a house. There's a knock at the door. Carlos goes to answer it. Carlos opens the door, and Greg is standing on the other side with the number 9 Lions jersey on.
Oh, hey, Greg, what's up?
Not much. Just been working a lot. How about you?
You know, same old, same old. What are you doing here?
I'm here to pick up Marv. We're going to the Lions game?
The Lions, isn't it Saturday?
Yeah, why?
Since when do NFL games happen on Saturdays?
I don't know. The tickets had today's date on them. Now where's Marv? We better get going. Texted him to get ready on my way there. On my way here.
Yeah, I don't think he got that text. He's asleep on the couch. I'll go wake him up for you.
Thanks.
Greg starts following Carlos towards the living room. Carlos turns around and puts his hand out as to tell Greg to stop.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to wait outside. You don't want to be in Marv's line of sight when he wakes up.
Greg shakes his head and walks out the door. Carlos walks over to Marv asleep on the couch and starts aggressively shaking him to wake him up. While he does so, Marv's gun slips out of the blanket he's under. Carlos sees it and grabs it before taking a step back. Marv springs up looking pissed and tired.
What? What is it?
Why do you have this?
What? Why are you patting me down while I'm sleeping?
Marv lunges forward and snatches the gun out of Carlos's hand.
I was trying to wake you up because Greg is here to pick you up, but we aren't focusing on that right now. Is that thing loaded?
Yeah, so what?
You're sleeping with a loaded gun in my house.
Oh, you'll be fine. The safety is on.
I don't care if the safety is on. That's not the point. Why do you even have that? Are you doing work with Dom?
Marv just kind of glares at Carlos, not saying anything, but looking equally pissed and guilty.
Of course you are. Did you even look for another job?
Yeah, of course I tried. But the sad truth is that there is nowhere that is willing to hire me. So it's what I had to do.
No, it's not. I would have hired you. You're just too stubborn to take the job I offered you. That does pay well, mind you.
I already depend on you for everything, and I hate that. I don't want to get back. I want to get back on my 2 feet by myself.
So what? You're just gonna keep doing jobs with Dom for the rest of your life? So you just aspire to be a criminal?
No! No, that's not what I was going to do. I just gotta do this one job. Just this one to get back on my feet. It's not gonna hurt anyone, then I'll take the job with you. Once I'm ready, I'm already on my feet.
I'm not in the business of getting jobs for active criminals, Marv. In fact, I'm not in the business of letting them stay in my house.
Marv gets up and throws his clothes piled on the floor into a bag. Marv also puts the gun in the bag. He rushes out the door.
Hey, don't have that gun on you when you go into the stadium.
The door slams shut. Carlos falls into the couch and drags his hands across his face. Exterior, Carlos's apartment, night. Marv storms out of the door with his bag on his shoulder and gets even more infuriated when he sees Greg just standing there.
What do you want?
We had plans to go to the Lions game, remember?
Yeah, I remember, but it's Saturday.
So, is it weird for a football game to be played on a Saturday?
Marv just, again, kind of glares at him.
Well, the game starts at 8:15, so we gotta go. My car's right over there.
Greg points over to the shiny white Tesla parked on the street. Marv walks over and sits down in the car, trying to act unimpressed. Greg walks over and gets in the driver's seat and turns the car on. Marv is shaking a bit as if he is cold. He doesn't have a jacket on. You want me to turn the seat warmers on?
I'm not cold.
Kinda cold.
Oh shit. I'm not cold.
Okay, well, I am. So if you don't mind, I'm going to turn the seat warmers on.
Greg presses the button to turn the seat warmers on, and Marv almost immediately stops shivering. His eyes light up. He is actively trying to show Greg that he is unimpressed. Greg starts driving.
You ever been to a Lions game in person before? No. I haven't either. But I have seen a couple of games on TV, so I'm excited to see them in person. It'd be cool to see Matthew Stafford just throw the ball to Calvin Johnson in person.
None of those players are at the lines anymore, or on the lines anymore. In fact, Calvin Johnson has been out of the league for so long. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, I guess it has been a while since I've seen a Lions game. But I am still excited for this one.
It is silent for a little bit, but as Marv is unwilling to speak.
So I guess I get. I guess I got to get a more up-to-date jersey than if Stafford is retired then, huh?
He isn't retired. He plays for the Rams now.
What do you mean he plays for the Rams now? He switched teams? Why would he do that?
The Lions traded him. It wasn't his choice.
Well, that's stupid. Why would they do that? I thought he was one of the best players.
They got a lot for him, and got Jared Goff, who was playing pretty good. So I think it did work out, even though it sucks to see Stanford in a different uniform.
Oh, well, that's good then. Is them doing that trade part of the reason they're doing so good this season?
Yeah, I think that is a big part of it.
That's good. Also, I might not be privy to a lot of football-related things, but I know if you're going to be sitting on the sideline, you have to be wearing some kind of Lions jersey.
Oh yeah, screw you, man. If it was up to me, I would have a jersey, but you don't gotta rub it in my face like I don't got one.
Whoa, I'm sorry. That wasn't what I was trying to say. I was going to say you should wear this one.
Greg reaches into his backseat and grabs the Lions jersey. It is a number 14 St. Brown jersey and still has the tags on it. Greg throws it into Marv's lap.
Thanks, but I don't need your handouts. I'll get my own jersey when I'm able.
I'm sorry if that offended you. It's not a handout, I promise. It's an early Christmas gift from Jen and I. She said your favorite player was the St. Brown guy, so we thought it made sense to give you your gift early so you'd have it for the game.
Oh, so this is from Jen then?
Well, it's from both of us, but she was the one who knew what player to get.
Okay. Well, tell her I said thank you then.
Interior, Ford Field night. Marv and Greg are walking around the stadium before they go to their seats. There's a guy selling beer out of the blue bin right in front of them.
Want a beer, son?
Oh shit, I can do that now. Can I?
Do what?
Legally buy a beer.
Have you not done that yet?
No, what of it?
What do you mean, what of it? You have to change that, like, right now. Show that man your ID.
I don't have an ID.
Not even like a library card or something?
Do I look like a nerd to you?
Well, they probably won't card you anyway. You look old enough, so just go buy a beer.
I don't have money for that.
Here, I'll spot you something.
I already told you, I don't want your handouts.
The light bulb goes off in Greg's head. He smiles and speaks.
It's not a handout, Marv. Think of it more like a bar tab.
A what?
A bar tab. Meaning I expect you to pay every cent back that I lent you.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Can I pay you back after the holidays?
Yeah. Whenever you have it.
Greg slips Marv a $100 bill.
Yeah, so just buy as many as you want. Give me the change, and then you can pay me back later.
Before Greg even finished talking, Marv went up to buy the beer from the guy. It is unclear what he says to him over the stadium noise, but Marv gives the guy the $100 bill and starts walking back with the entire bin. They start walking back to their seats. Interior, sideline, Ford's Field, night. Marv and Greg are in the seats as close as you can get to the sideline. Marv's bucket has a bunch of full and empty cans that blend into each other and a beer in his hand. The scoreboard reads that it is the fourth quarter with 15 minutes left in it. The scoreboard also reads 28-10 in favor of the Lions.
Jared Goff is balling out right now, man. What a game from him.
Yeah, this is definitely a good game to go to. That Laporta guy is playing great too.
Laporta is so good, man. I'm so glad we snagged him in the draft this year. He's gonna be a top tight end in the league for a while.
Oh, I hope so. Also, I have a question for you. That guy that scored for the Broncos earlier, is his actual name Lil Jordan Humphreys?
I mean, I think so. They usually put the players' real names on the scoreboard when they scored, and it said Little Jordan Humphreys was his name.
Who would name their kid Lil Jordan though? Why not just Jordan?
Why don't you want to name your kid Little Greg or Little Jim? I'd love to be an uncle to a kid with that, like with a name like that.
Huh? Lil Greg just kind of roll off the tongue, doesn't it? Maybe you're right. I'll have to try and sell Jen on that one.
Oh well, I'll help you with that because I think it'll take a lot of convince.
Marv stops mid-sentence as in front of them, Lions running back.
Let's go!
Marv goes to high-five Greg and slaps his hand incredibly hard. Greg acts like it doesn't hurt and cheers with him, then turns to the side and holds his hand quickly, wincing in pain.
These Lion rookies are showing out tonight. Let's go!
Greg takes notice of some people leaving the stadium.
Why are people starting to leave already? There are 12 minutes left in the game.
Probably because the game is pretty much over. The Lions all but won this game. They are fake fans who are worried about beating the traffic, then watching them finish to the game. Then watching them finish to the game.
I don't mind sitting in a bit of traffic after the game. I'll be getting home late anyway after watching the end of this game, and then dropping you off.
Actually, about that, actually about that, is it cool if I can crash with you and Jen for a few days? Carlos has been pissing me off recently. I just need to cool off.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem. I'm sure Jen would be thrilled to have you over for a couple days.
Cool, man. Thanks. Really appreciate it. You know, I gotta tell you.
The scene cuts off and opens with the next scene. Marv is on the couch asleep with his bag right in front of him. The clock hanging over the couch reads 8. Greg and Jen are sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen table in the room over eating cereal. Jen is eating Fruit Loops and Greg is eating Honey Nut Cheerios.
How much did he have to drink at the game last night?
Enough so that he's gonna be in a good mood when he wakes up, that's for sure.
I mean, he is never in a good mood when he wakes up, so that doesn't really help me determine the amount.
Greg and Jen smile, seeming like they are about to laugh, but the laughs don't come out.
But seriously, why did you give him so much money for beer?
Well, he is 25. He said he hadn't bought a legal drink yet. And that didn't sit right with me, so I told him he had to make up for it.
Oh, well, that's sweet. I'm sure he's also a lot kinder to you when he's drunk.
Yes, a lot kinder. We had a fun night last night. I think I'm finally starting to win him over.
Jen hugs Greg as he's still sitting in his chair.
I'm so happy to hear that.
You think he wants to go to church with us this morning?
I assume no, but I guess it won't hurt to ask. But you stay out of his line of sight when you wake him up. I want you to stay on his good side.
Jen kisses Greg on the cheek and walks over to the couch and lightly and politely taps on Marv's head.
Wait. Hey, Marv, wake up. I need to ask you something.
Marv opens his eyes but closes them immediately and puts his face into the couch.
Oh shit! My head is pounding.
Do you want water or something to help with that?
I just want to go back to sleep. Why did you wake me up?
I want to know if you want to go to church with me and Greg in a bit.
Church? Since when did you go to church?
Since me and Greg moved in together, we try and go every Sunday.
Well, I'm not surprised. What? I bet he does a lot of charity work too, doesn't he?
Not really that much charity work. I occasionally work in a soup kitchen, and I try to donate as much money as I can to St. Jude's, but other than that, not really.
Oh, I only donate $100 to charity and work in a soup kitchen, but that's it.
It's thousands of dollars, but that doesn't matter.
My bad, Mr. Moneybag. Bags. Not all of us have money to give to charity.
I mean, like I said before, if you wanted, I could get you a job down at the.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Because I really don't care. I'm not interested.
Jen drives her elbow into Marv's ribs.
Jesus Christ. But thank you for letting me stay here. And I hope you have fun at church.
Marv looks over at Jen, seemingly looking for approval. She smiles at him.
Thank you, Marv. I appreciate it. Go ahead and get back to sleep.
Exterior record store day. Marv is walking up to the record store right next to the bank. He plans to rob. You can see his breath in the cold air. As he gets closer to the building, his steps are getting smaller to seemingly delay going inside. The doors to the record store fly open and Dom comes out of the store.
Oh, hey, Marv. How have you been?
Solid, I guess.
That's good. Yeah, we changed what time we were going to meet here. We met earlier, but I guess you didn't get my message about that.
Oh yeah, my bad. My phone's dead.
It's been dead for a week.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to charge it.
Anyway, I went to stop by Carlos's place to let you know, but Carlos answered the door and then yelled at me to stay away from you and then said you don't live there anymore.
Dom and Marv walk into the store and start walking over to a shelf of records that has a window pointing right at the bank behind it.
Yeah, I've just been living with my sister for a little bit.
You know, if you needed a place to stay, you should have just came and stayed with me.
Dom winked at Marv. Marv blushes and is seemingly frustrated with himself.
Man, I wish I had thought about that.
Anyway, with what your role in this is, there really isn't too much to go over. You just gotta walk in and make sure no one tries anything. But I just stayed to make sure you didn't get here to no one here and get confused.
Yeah. If that was the case, I probably would have backed out. I have been having doubts about this anyway.
Well, get rid of those doubts now, because you are in it for the long run. Take a look in front of you. 4 days from now, this is where we will be. And we will leave a lot richer than when we walked in. We are too far in for your doubts you're going through with this. Got it?
Marv is taken aback by the change of tone.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, Marv, but I do have to go. I would recommend you staying here for a little longer and buying something so it doesn't look suspicious. Oh, and here's the address to come meet us on Tuesday.
Dom slips Marv a piece of paper and then walks away. And Marv starts looking through the records on the shelf. He pulls out a Taylor Swift record and starts examining it.
Ooh, are you Christmas shopping for Jen?
Marv jumps a little bit.
Get out of my face! Don't do that shit.
Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to startle you. But is that a Christmas gift for Jen?
Marv flips over the record and looks at the price on the back. It says it's $50.
It might be a little out of my price range. I'm like $18 short.
Oh, I get you. I can lend you $18. I'll just add it to your tab.
No, I don't need you to lend me any more of your money. And I will pay you back, by the way.
Oh, I know you will. And please, let me lend you the money this one more time. I'd love to see how happy it would make Jen getting that gift from you.
Marv stops and thinks for a second.
Fine.
Oh, yeah, and if you need a way to make money to pay me back, like I said, I can get you a job.
I don't need anything else from you, Greg. I can get a job and that money on my own.
All right, good for you. I know you're going to be on your feet in no time.
Interior, Jen and Greg's apartment, morning. There is the Christmas music playing through the apartment. Marv is asleep on the couch, and the Christmas tree is right next to the couch, and he's laying on it. The apartment looks festive. There are some gifts wrapped under the tree. There's a knock on the door. Jen goes to answer it. When the door opens, Gunther and Marge are standing on the other side of it. Gunther goes to hug Jen.
Merry Christmas. How have you been, Jen? How's the baby?
Oh, we've been doing good. Thanks for asking. How have you guys been?
Where's my son at?
He's on the couch.
Gunther starts to walk over to the couch. Marge stumbles in the door and hugs Jen.
Merry Christmas, dear. It's so good to see you. Do you need me to cook anything?
No, Mom. Thank you, though. You could just relax.
Gunther gets to the couch and quickly falls back into the bad mood he is every other time you see him.
Jen, I wasn't talking about this sack of shit. Where's Greg?
I'm sorry, Dad. You asked where your son is, and he's right there. But Greg's in the kitchen.
This scum is not my son. I'm disappointed you let this criminal sleep on your couch.
Gunther rips the blanket off Marv very aggressively.
If you needed a place to stay, you should have just gone back to that cell you had. Cell they had you in.
Marv wakes up and jumps up and is now sitting on the couch with his fists clenched. He looks around confused.
What the hell are you doing here?
Are you on drugs now? What a waste of space. It's Christmas, dipshit. I came to spend time with my daughter and my future son-in-law.
Dad, Greg has something to show you in the kitchen. Go say hi.
Gunther walks into the kitchen with Marge and Greg.
Jen, why the hell didn't you tell me they were gonna be here?
I'm sorry, Marv. I just wanted to have my family all together in one place on Christmas. Please don't leave.
I'll stay, but just keep that prick away from me.
Yeah, that's fair. Greg is finishing up breakfast for everyone, and I'll make sure you guys don't have a line of sight towards each other at the table.
There was another knock at the door.
I'll get that.
Marv goes over to the door and opens it, and Carlos is standing there.
What are you doing here?
Jen invited me.
Marv stepped outside with Carlos and closed the door. Just stand over there.
Yeah, you might be a little out of frame.
Yeah.
You really gonna show up here after you threw me on the street?
It doesn't really look like you're on the street.
Stop it with that bullshit. You know what I mean.
Mark, you're my best friend. You still are, and I'm looking out for you. That's the only reason I did it.
How is kicking me out looking out for me?
I was trying to bring you to your senses. I didn't want to see you throw your life away. Please tell me you backed out.
I can't tell you that.
Marv, please don't go through with this.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't have doubts, but Dom made it pretty clear there's no backing out now. Anyway, I think I need to do this to get back on my feet.
Marv, what about if you get caught? Armed robbery is no joke. You should know that. And they will definitely give you more time as an adult.
Relax. Tom broke down the plan to me, and
There's foolproof. Proof. Completely safe. I won't get caught.
What do you mean it's completely safe? It's an armed robbery. You can play it all you want. It is definitely not safe at all. What if someone gets hurt?
nobody will get hurt. It's a simple plan. Get the money and get out. I don't think I could hurt someone in that situation if I wanted to. Plus, Dom hasn't gotten caught doing anything like this before, so I think if she's involved, I'll be fine.
There's a first time for everything. I'm sure you don't want to hurt anybody, but how do you know those other people you're doing this job with feel the same way?
Greg opens the door.
Oh, there you guys are. Merry Christmas.
What do you want, Greg?
I was looking for you guys to let you know breakfast is ready. We were just waiting on you guys to start eating.
Oh, okay, we'll be right in. Thanks, Greg.
The door closes.
Okay, when is all this going down? Tomorrow? Marv!
Marv opens the door and shuts it in Carlos's face. Carlos then goes into the house. Marv walks into the dining room.
I don't want him next to me. He might try and steal my food.
I was never sitting next to you. I'll go to the bathroom.
As Marv is walking into the bathroom, Carlos comes into the dining room.
He's probably going to do drugs. Are you really going to let him back into your house, Jen?
Dad, he isn't doing drugs.
We're doing drugs? Where? What kind?
Merry Christmas, Carlos. So glad you could join us.
Merry Christmas! It's good to see everybody. I just realized I forgot everybody's gifts in the trunk. Let me just go get those real quick. You guys should start eating without me.
Carlos walks into the living room and grabs Marv's bag and starts going through it. He finds his gun and pulls it out and tucks it in his waistband. He walks out to his truck and gets in. He pulls out the gun and takes out the magazine of the gun. Carlos then pulls out his phone and opens up YouTube. He searches how to empty the chamber of a gun. He scrolls through the video options and selects the shortest video. He watches it, and as the guy demonstrates how to do it, he mimics what the guy is doing. The chamber of the gun opens and Carlos takes the bullet out. He then dumps all the bullets in the gun's magazine and then puts the magazine back in the gun and makes it so it is ready to fire, if it had bullets in there. He made sure the safety was still on and tucked it back into his waistband. He then got out of his truck and grabbed a few poorly wrapped gifts out and brought them back inside. He set the gifts under the tree and put the gun back in Marv's bag. Carlos goes and sits down at the table where there is a plate waiting for him. Jen looks down at her phone and starts frantically typing. Carlos's phone gets a text. He picks up his phone and the text is from Jen, asking him to move over a seat. Carlos moves over.
Marge, Merry Christmas! How have you guys been?
Oh, Merry Christmas! It's so good to see you, Marv. How have you been?
Marge, that's Carlos. Don't disrespect the boy by calling him Marv. What an ugly name.
I thought your father's name was Marv.
Yeah, what of it?
Jen gets up out of her seat and walks over to the kitchen and puts her dish in the sink. She then walks back over to Greg and puts her mouth up to his ear.
I'm gonna go check on Marv.
Greg sarcastically whispers back.
Okay, sounds good.
Jen chuckles a little and heads over to the living room. Marv exits the bathroom and goes and sits down on the couch. Jen chuckles a little and heads on over to the living room. Marv exits the bathroom and goes and sits on the couch.
Are you gonna come eat with us?
Marv puts his feet on the top of the couch, now sitting upside down.
In there? You won't catch me dead going back in there. It's especially when you're out of here.
I can go back. I can go back in there if you want to go eat.
Nah, I'm good. You should just go hang out here with me. I got you a Christmas gift.
Only one? What about the other 8 years of Christmas gifts you missed?
Shit, Jen, I could hardly afford this one.
They both laugh and Marv goes to grab the gift he has for Jen hidden behind the couch.
Sorry, it isn't wrapped. I couldn't afford wrapping paper.
There is a half-used roll of wrapping paper sitting next to the tree behind Jen.
Thank you so much, Marv. I can't wait to listen to this record on the record player. I love this album. I'm just so excited to listen to it.
Jen hugs Marv and Marv has a smile on his face.
So, who's this girl Greg said he saw you with the other day?
What are you talking about?
Greg said he saw you out Christmas shopping and he saw you with a girl.
Greg needs to mind his own damn business.
Who is she, Marv? Do you have a girlfriend you're keeping from us?
I don't know if that's how I would describe it.
Loudly from the other room.
You know what would be a good Christmas gift, Greg? Kicking that criminal out of your house.
Marv clenches his fist.
Hey, don't listen to him, Marv. I'm glad you're here. Also, don't use the next excuse to change the subject.
I didn't need an excuse to change the subject. I really don't want to talk about that.
Okay, I understand. Well, I guess you can open my Christmas gift to you then.
Marv sits upright and jumps to his feet.
What do you mean? The Amon Ra jersey was my Christmas gift?
Well, that one's from Greg, and this one's from me.
You should have just gotten me that one. I don't have an extra gift for you, and
Marv, just take it.
Fine.
Marv takes the gift from Jen and unwraps it. When he opens it, it is revealed that it is a nice blue Lions hoodie.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you so much.
Jen hugs Marv. Exterior. Parking lot. Morning. Marv arrives at an empty, not well-kept parking lot. The lines are all but faded, and there is grass growing through cracks all over the lot. He's wearing the Lions sweatshirt. Jen got him, and jeans. There is a shady black van sitting in the back of the lot. The door to the van slides open, and Goon 1 peeks his head out. Yo, get your ass over here. Marv walks over to the van, and Goon 1 steps out of the van, followed by Dom right behind him. Dom has a buzz cut and is 3 inches higher off the ground than she normally is, probably due to inserts in her giant boots that she's wearing. Her chest is compacted using a binder, most likely. Her stomach also appears to be bigger, like she has something in her shirt to make her look fatter, but it looks really realistic.
You're late, Marv.
Marv is shocked at Dom's appearance. He doesn't say anything.
Well, don't just stand there. Get in.
Marv gets in the van without a second thought. Goon 2 and Goon 3. Behind Goon 2 and Goon 3. The doors slam behind Marv. Goon 2 tosses a ski mask at him. Goon 2 and 3 are both already wearing ski masks. Dom and Goon 1 get in the front.
All right. Just a quick rundown one more time of how this will go. You two go in first. Shoot out the cameras. As we discussed, you should know where they are by now. Me and Marv will be right behind you. I'll make sure the tellers don't try anything, and Marv will make sure that anybody inside doesn't go anywhere. Once you guys are done shooting out the cameras, you will go into the vault with the teller and collect the money. Me and Marv will make sure everyone is kept in our sight, can't try anything. Once we got the money, Daryl here will swing back with the van, and all of us will get back in the van with the money, taking it to the parking garage, a couple blocks away, and switch out the van for another car I have waiting. Like I said, my uncle owns the parking garage, so he has a place for us to hide the van. Not that they're gonna end up looking there for it anyway. Everybody got that?
Marv, Goon 2, and Goon 3 all shook their heads.
Any questions?
Yeah. What happened to your hair?
Dom rolls her eyes.
Let me make it simple for you. If I walk in with my face covered, don't speak, and look like this, when they're trying to figure out who did it, they're gonna be looking for 5 male suspects. And I'll be scot-free.
Won't people become suspicious when they see you have a buzz cut?
This isn't my first rodeo, Marv. I have a really good wig. Now, does anyone have an intelligent question?
The van stops moving. No one responds.
Well, good, because we're here.
Marv Marv puts on the ski mask and puts his hood up. Goon 2 opens the door and Goon 1 gets out, followed by Goon 2. Dom got out after they start going towards the building. Marv is sitting there kind of frozen. What are you doing? Get in there. Marv, in a kind of daze, gets out of the van, which speeds off as soon as he gets out. Marv hustles into the bank. He heard the gunshots taking out the cameras on his way in. Goon 2 and Goon 3 are already in the vault with the teller. Marv takes out his gun and just points it to the 4 women and 3 men that are sitting in the chairs in the waiting area. 2 of the women and 1 of the men are wearing black bank uniforms. Marv points the gun at all the now hostages and moves closer to the counter, near the vault. The sound of Goon 2 coming out of the vault is heard.
We got the key. Put this one over with the rest of it.
Dom walked over to the vault. Marv is pacing back and forth with his gun pointed at these hostages. The teller that was in the vault with Goon 2 and Goon 3 is thrown to the floor. First Marv looks over to the door as if he is looking for police and keeping his gun pointed at the hostages. The sound of the teller getting to their knees is very apparent.
Marv? Is that you?
Marv immediately recognizes that voice. Everything is seemingly in slow motion for Marv. He turns his head with his eyes closed, opening them with his head when his head is turned towards the voice. He was scared to open them. As soon as he does, he lowers his gun in shock.
What are you doing?
A loud bang goes off from behind Marv. He blinks for 1 second, and when his eyes open, Greg is sitting there with a bullet in the center of his head. There all of a sudden is blood all over the new sweatshirt Jen got Marv. Greg falls to the ground lifeless. Marv looks back at Dom with tears starting to form in his eyes. Goon 2 and Goon 3 come running out of the vault with big bags full of money.
What happened?
No time to ask. Our ride is here. Let's go. Dom and Marv are making eye contact. Dom motions to the door and starts heading to the van. There is a very faint sound of police sirens that will only get closer. Dom looked back and Marv dropped to his knees. He flicks the safety off his gun and puts it to the side of his head. Dom knew what he was about to do and turned around and left. The sound of the... Yeah, you leave. The sound of the tires of the van driving off were loud. As Marv just stood there with the gun to his head, the police sirens get louder and louder. The hostages just sat there like deer in headlights, unsure of what to do. Marv took a deep breath and pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. Marv inspected the gun to make sure the safety was off, and then put it back to his head and pulled the trigger again. When he realized there wasn't a bullet in his head, he just kept pulling the trigger as many times as he could, as fast as he could. Marv drops the gun to the ground and still on his knees, starts crawling towards Greg.
Crawling?
Crawling towards Greg's lifeless body. As he started to crawl to it, he was hit over the head with a chair by one of the women wearing a bank uniform. As soon as that first person struck the rest of the hostages dogpile on Marv and started hitting him, he quickly lost consciousness. Interior, prison cell. Marv is laying on the floor of the cell. He is in his head. He's right in front of the toilet, and there is a crappy bed to his right. A prison guard walks up to Marv's cell. Marv Fisher, you have a visitor. Marv's head popped up.
Who is it?
It just says family. Marv looks incredibly nervous. He gets up and follows the prison guard. Interior visitor's room, day. Marv walks in and is led to a table where he is handcuffed to. As soon as he is handcuffed, the guard signals to let in the visitors. Marv sees who it is, and his face immediately drops. Gunther walks over and sits down across from Marv.
Well, it seems you've settled back in, right where you belong.
Marv gives Gunther a long blank stare.
You know, for once in your life, I think you made the right decision. I mean, of course, after you ruined my daughter and grandchild's life, for once in your life, I think you made the right decision. But I guess you can't even kill yourself properly, can you?
Why are you here?
To tell you I was right. You are nothing more than a scummy dirtbag criminal. I don't know why they let you out in the first place. Look what happened. Because they didn't throw away the key the first time. It was pretty clear. Like I said, there was no place left for you in society.
You really didn't think, not even a small part of you, that I could pull myself back together?
No, like I said, you were beyond that point of no return. There was no place left for you in society because they let you out. My son is dead.
need to at least apologize to her, or let her tell me I am an asshole or something.
I was right the first time around when I didn't let her visit you. If I have anything to say about you, won't see her again. Until she is testifying against you in court to put you away for good this time. And I'll make sure that you murdering piece of shit.
Gunther got up out of his seat, and a guard came to escort him out of the room.
Do you think you guys can slip him a functioning gun so that he could kill himself properly this time? Maybe even a rope.
Gunther and the guard leave the room. Interior prison cafeteria day. Marv has started to grow a beard. Seemingly around a week has passed since Gunther's visit. Marv is sitting by himself in the cafeteria, just sitting with his disgusting looking food untouched in front of him. The prison guard walks up to him. Fisher, you have a visitor. Marv just sat there for a couple seconds before standing up. His hand was shaking a bit. He walked away from his food, just leaving it on the table. Another prisoner swooped by and took it as soon as he walked away. Interior visitor room day. Marv is back in the seat he was in before, with his hands handcuffed to the dirty metal table. The guards open the door and lead Carlos into the room to sit across from Marv.
Are you here to gloat too? Are you here to tell me you were right?
No, I came to visit my best friend. There's no need to state the oblivious.
Why are you here? Because you don't owe me anything else.
I never owed you shit in the first place. Sure, I am appreciative of you not ratting on me when we were kids and protecting me from possibly messing up my life. I really am thankful to you for that, but I never was indebted to you or owed you anything because of that.
Then why did you let me crash at your place for free? And give me a phone and stuff.
Because you're my best friend, Marv. You'll have a place to stay when you get out.
That might not be for a while.
How long is it looking like? Have you heard anything?
My sentence will be reduced since I gave up information on everyone involved. And the witness accounts confirmed that my gun was never fired.
That's good. So they got Dom then?
No, they can't tie her to the crime. Everyone at the scene, the cameras and the other three stooges, they caught. All reported that there was a man 3 inches taller than Dom in that pink. Doesn't match the description at all. So even though I ratted on her, they aren't gonna charge her.
Gotta be shitting me, that bitch! They at least got those other doofuses, right? That should help your sentence?
Yeah, it's looking like it will, man. But I don't know if I even deserve to get out again.
What are you on about?
Maybe my dad was right. Maybe I'm beyond the point of no return. There isn't a place left for me in this society. I am right back where I started with them. I need growth in character.
So you're gonna start listening to your dad now? You haven't listened to a word that guy said your whole life. You're gonna start now?
Well, maybe he's right.
He isn't. You've grown since you got out. Sure, you ended up back in the same spot, but I'm confident if given a final chance, it is a spot you won't end up in again.
How do you know that?
It was clear as day. You are an insufferable jerk that doesn't get along with anyone. Doesn't need anyone's help. But you were finally realizing it might be okay to take it.
Yeah, but I didn't though. That's why I'm back here.
You didn't get all the way there, but you were starting to accept it. At least Jen was ecstatic that you were letting her and Greg help you.
How is Jen doing?
Do you expect any other answer besides bad?
Marv slumped down in his seat and puts his hands in his face.
Well, how was the funeral?
It was a nice ceremony. Until Gunther got up there, started talking about how much better Greg was than you and how it should be you in the coffin and not Greg. That made everyone feel better.
Is there any way Jen will come to see me?
I don't know, dude. Greg dying was bad enough. So you being somewhat involved in kind of the reason for it happening made it a lot worse. I don't think she can even cry anymore. It always looked like she's about to, but she just can't.
I just need to apologize to her. I don't know or let her yell at me or something.
You know Jen isn't much of a yeller, but I'll see what I can do.
Carlos stands up and starts to leave, but stops and turns back to Marv.
Last time when you got out, you really had no purpose or goal. Now you're in here, give yourself a reason to get back out. Something that motivates you to get up in the morning. Give yourself some kind of purpose.
Carlos walks out, followed by the prison guard. Exterior prison yard day. Marv's beard is longer than it was before. He's playing basketball with some other inmates. He is only playing with about half the effort he used when at the court with Dom. He looks sluggish and uninterested. Interior prison night. Marv's beard is now even longer. It is clear another large amount of time has passed by. There are tallies drawn on the wall behind him. He has his back to them. There seems to be about 45 tally marks on the wall behind him. His eyes are wide open and he's just staring forward. Interior visitor's room day. Marv's beard at this point touches the top of his chest, and his hair has grown out significantly. He hasn't cut it at all since he's been in jail.
Come on now, Carlos. It's been a minute.
Marv is slouched back in his seat, handcuffed to the dirty metal table in the far left corner of the room. This time. The door opens and Jen walks in. Marv pops up in his seat. She walks over cautiously and slowly. It is a long walk that feels like forever. Jen is clearly showing. Jen sits down across from Marv. It was silent for about a minute. Neither side has anything to say. Jen has a blank stare on her face, almost emotionless.
Jen, it's so good to see you. I'm so sorry about what happened to Greg. I was told no one would be hurt.
Jen just sits there unresponsive to what Marv has just said. Marv is clearly panicking as he doesn't know what he should or could say.
I really had no clue he worked there. If I had known,
Why didn't you know he worked there?
huh?
Why didn't you know where my fiance worked? He let you live with us. He offered you a job. Why didn't you know where he worked?
Marv is trying to think of something to say.
You know you didn't just get my fiance, the father of my unborn daughter killed, but you also attempted to kill my brother, which is incredibly selfish of you.
Jen, I'm sorry. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't think I could live with myself knowing the pain I caused you.
So you thought that killing yourself would end my pain and suffering?
No, I'm sorry.
Did you mention?
If there's anything I could do that might help you, let me know. I would do anything to help you at all.
If you're looking for forgiveness, I won't ever be able to give you that. I won't ever be able to forgive you for what you robbed me of. You're my brother. I will always love you, but I will never be able to forgive you.
Understand. I deserve that.
Marv just puts his head down, and it is silent again for another minute.
Our dad can be an asshole.
I'd say so.
He was always restricting who I could and couldn't talk to, including you when you were locked up the first time.
Marv is visibly confused, but just nodding his head.
I don't want to be like that for my daughter. I can't know how she will feel about all of this, but I know how I'll feel about it. My mind is made up. But I can't know how she's going to feel about it.
What are you trying to say?
If she decides, when I tell her what happened to her father because of you, that she wants to forgive you, that is her choice. I just needed to say that. I feel like we all owe her that.
Regardless of if I'm still in here or not, I will do anything for that child. And regardless if I'm forgiven or not.
Don't get your hopes up. I can't imagine she would choose to forgive you. But knowing how her father was, I just needed to say she would have the option.
Jim pauses for a second.
But she definitely won't forgive you if you're rotting away
Jen got up and walked out 20 times faster than she came in. The guard followed her out and the doors closed. Marv was just staring dazed at the dirty table in front of him, looking at what part of the reflection he could see. The prison guard came over and began to unhandcuff Marv from the table. As they are doing this, Marv just continues to blankly stare at the table, and finally smiles a bit. There is hope in his eyes, something that he really hasn't ever felt before.